In 2023, a 58-year-old woman named Elaine Thompson was living a fairly standard life in Middlesbrough, England. Like anyone looking to trim their monthly expenses, she made a very sensible, mundane financial decision. She logged into her account and canceled her subscription to the UK postcode lottery. It was a minor budget cut, but it had a definitive mathematical impact. By actively canceling her entry, Elaine's odds of winning dropped from unlikely to absolute zero. Shortly after clicking cancel, Elaine's timeline experienced a disruption. She visited a local fortune teller for a psychic reading. During that session, the psychic delivered a specific prediction. She told Elaine she was about to come into a significant amount of money. This created a direct conflict between two versions of reality. One was governed by the math of her canceled subscription. The other was governed by a psychic's guarantee that she was about to get rich. Elaine now faced a psychological dilemma. She had to either dismiss the reading as a scam or spend real money to reverse a financial decision she had just finalized. The psychic never explicitly mentioned the lottery. This forced Elaine to connect the dots herself, linking a vague promise of wealth to the specific ticket she had just abandoned. Making banking decisions based on a psychic reading creates a friction most of us try to avoid. It requires acting on supernatural advice in a reality that usually demands logic and probability. When she finally logged back in to reinstate the ticket, it was no longer just a passive coincidence. It was an active test of faith against the statistics of her daily life. Just a few days after that reading, Elaine went back online and reinstated her exact postcode lottery ticket. In the very next draw, her postcode was called. Elaine won over £12,000. Elaine is clear about the cause. She noted that without that specific push from the clairvoyant, she would have missed out on the prize entirely. This goes beyond the standard definition of a lucky win. The winning ticket only existed in play because a piece of foresight prompted her to rescue it from the void. This £12,000 win serves as Exhibit A in a pattern of cases where financially actionable premonitions yield tangible results. To see that Elaine isn't an isolated case, we have to look back to Connecticut in 2017. Carolyn O'Brien visited a psychic who delivered a very physical vision. She saw Carolyn holding a giant check and cheering the words, "I did it." Years later, Carolyn bought a scratch-off ticket and hit a $3 million jackpot. Upon collecting her prize, Carolyn stood with the oversized check and shouted the exact phrase the psychic had predicted years prior, "I did it." When clairvoyant predictions provide a specific script or trigger the reversal of a financial decision, they move past simple randomness. They force us to question if there is a form of information at play that we don't yet fully understand. The skeptical argument is straightforward. These are profound mathematical coincidences. With millions of people playing the lottery, a few will inevitably have visions that happen to align with a win. However, there is a theoretical counterargument grounded in quantum physics and Einstein's theory of relativity. We experience time as a straight line, moving from past to future. But under nonlinear models, that line folds in on itself, creating a loop where past and future exist simultaneously. A psychic isn't predicting the future. They are observing a point that already occurred. If time does not strictly follow a one-way path, then the distinction between a lucky guess and a genuine observation becomes a question of how we perceive our place in the timeline. Returning to Elaine Thompson, her £12,000 win remains a permanent fixture of her personal history. Her wealth wasn't the result of a lucky stumble. It required an active willingness to listen to something impossible and act on it. Whether the cause is a quantum time loop or a rare streak of luck, the takeaway is the same. Our daily choices are often shaped by a fragile sense of intuition. It leads to a final question. If a stranger told you that the ticket you just threw away was a winner, would you have the courage to go back and get it? Sometimes the most significant outcomes require us to step away from statistical safety and trust a feeling we can't explain.